And welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk about real estate and everything that has to do with real estate and financing. That's right. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. If you guys have any questions and want to call live in the studio, 702-409-4495, or go ahead and hit your comments on the comments section. We got two special guests here. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about flipping $1 million homes, believe it or not. $1 million homes out here in Las Vegas. We're going to get straight right into it. That's right. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
What is going on? Thanks for having us.
So we got Dan French. You know Dan French, the lender. And we also got Landon and Jesse. Your last name is Boeckle Brothers, right? Is that what it is?
Nailed it.
Boeckle.
Oh, Boeckle Brothers. That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
So I came across these guys. They were literally on Instagram and also YouTube. I'm always fascinated with flipping properties and making money in investing in real estate. And I came across this channel, and these guys are doing $1 million flips. And I'm pretty fascinated with this. So on today's show, we're going to get into how to get into $1 million flips and how you guys got started, because I find this very fascinating. What do you think about this, Dan?
$1 million flips?
Yeah.
It's another world, man.
It is,
I'm telling
huh?
you. Yeah, I mean, you get all these guys that do these like small in flips, but when you start
Yeah.
doing $1 million flips, that's like big time. That's like what you see on those channels, man. Like Flip Vegas, right?
Yeah.
All it takes is balls of steel.
That's it, man. You got to hang them low.
Balls of steel? Is
jump off that
that what it really takes?
All
Is
you need.
balls of steel? Oh my gosh. So let's start off with this. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, you guys are natives here, right?
That's right.
Okay. And when did you guys actually get started in flipping property, or how did you guys even get started?
Yeah, so we started our company in 2016. So we're going on year 6 next year, which is crazy. It went by so fast.
Yeah.
Wow. How many properties have you guys flipped?
We're at about 270 right now.
270?
Hovering somewhere around there.
Jesse, you want to put that mic a little bit closer?
How about that?
There you go. You sound good now.
All right, baby.
Okay. So you said about 250 properties?
270.
Yeah, we're
counting.
over 250 now. So
Oh, okay. So you guys are pretty
Yeah.
much experienced.
I'd like to think we're experts at this point. You know.
There is no rhyme or reason.
But back in 2016, it's actually a pretty interesting story about how we got started.
Okay, let's talk about that.
I think it is very cool because everyone finds themselves in different situations, but a lot of people have a common goal about getting into real estate.
Yeah.
And one thing that we'd like to at least put out there is that you can get started on your own, but it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's always easier to find a mentor, someone you can partner with, someone you can work with, or even shadow and learn from. And that's exactly what we did. We had, luckily for us, both of our fathers are in real estate.
Okay.
And they've been in real estate for pretty much our entire lives growing up.
Yeah.
And so that was something we always saw and aspired to be and wanted to be just like Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of knew it in the back of our minds. But the great thing about, and I know a lot of people will hear this and say, oh, well, okay, your dad's got you. Your dad's
Right.
kicked it off.
Yeah.
You
Bunch
got
of rich
started.
kids, huh?
Right, bunch of rich kids. They came from the streets.
Yeah.
They came from White Plains, New York, not a dollar in their pocket,
Okay.
moved to Vegas alone, and built everything on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And so they really wanted to instill that in us, whatever industry we got into.
Yeah.
So from kids, we were holding jobs, doing chores, earning our way, even though we had a fairly privileged lifestyle as kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is one of the things that helped us give us the work ethic. But then we also saw that mentorship, that lead to follow, and understood that if we decided to, we could always follow in their footsteps and get into real estate.
So how did you guys get your first deal?
Man, so when we started real estate, so I started in 2013. So
Okay.
I actually started in residential quite a bit earlier than when Jesse and I linked up and started our company. So I knew how to find properties. I knew a little bit about real estate. I knew how to comp
So you were a
properties.
realtor, is that what you're saying?
I was a realtor.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was a
How's
realtor.
that going for you?
Yeah. Oh. So I went from residential for 2 years,
Yeah.
and then I actually went to commercial for 2 years too.
Okay.
So I started doing with a local guy here. He was a great mentor as well. Started doing retail acquisitions, dispositions.
Oh, wow.
Of shopping centers. So I got a little experience there. So by 2016, when Jesse and I linked up he came from Silicon Valley in 2016, and we're like, let's do it. Let's start real estate.
Yeah, because you guys split off, right? And you guys went to 2 different colleges, right?
So we were both born and raised here, and I grew up in SUMMERLIN. He grew up in Henderson. We actually went to different high schools.
Okay.
Branched out, went to different colleges, and it wasn't until a few years after college we were both back home and decided, okay, let's team up and do this.
Okay.
Yeah, so we kind of knew what to look for. Like when we talked to the guys, and they did fund our first couple properties for us and acted as hard private money lenders for us. But it didn't come easy. It took a lot of proving for them to give us that first bit of dough to be able to buy a property with. So it wasn't easy convincing them to allow us to do this. We knew how to find deals. We knew what a deal looked like.
How'd you find your first deal? Give us an example. Give us some tips.
Well, Landon was in real estate, so he kind of gave me the crash course on how to use the MLS, what to look for, how to comp, how to do certain things that you need to be proficient at.
Okay.
And so that's exactly where we started. We got on the MLS. We started looking at properties, comping properties, submitting offers, and we
started making calls.
Okay.
Started using the network that I built for the last 3 years too, asking other people, asking agents, do you have any deals that aren't are beat up deals? And we got one. It was actually not a bad house. It was in SUMMERLIN too.
a relatively new build.
What would you guys pay for it?
It was around like the maybe low to mid 3s, and it sold for like mid 4s.
Yeah.
Okay.
West side of town. Actually, it was built in probably like 05 or something. Wasn't even that old. It was all cosmetic. All
Smoke wood.
So you guys didn't use any of your money at this time?
No.
And we still don't.
Okay.
We do now, but
That's
we still use private money lending, and we'll get into that and how that works because I think that's so valuable for people watching, wanting to get into real estate, thinking, oh my gosh, I need hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars to start flipping real estate like these guys are. And it's like, no, you don't. You just need to use your mind, get creative, gain a little bit of knowledge, you could watch YouTube, you could go to events, you could get a mentor. But the money situation, it's about people trusting you. And I think that's super important. And we could talk about that later. But they acted like private money lenders to us for quite some time, probably 180 out of the 275 flips that we've done. And that's how we got started.
Okay. So on your first flip, were you guys scared?
Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was the biggest thing I'd ever done and the most money I've ever spent. And so it was scary.
And it's not like we're responsible for like our own cash out of pocket or like a random, we got a loan on it. We're responsible for dad's money, and dad's money is not a money to mess with.
Yeah.
It took years for them to even trust us to even try to do this. So yeah, we didn't want to make a mistake.
And we got in there and we did everything.
Everything yourself?
Not all of it, but we wanted to be a part of everything. Now, we did some stuff ourselves.
And I think that's a good learning process.
Agreed.
Just to get in, so that way you just know how things work. Because what I realized when, you're flipping a property, and I'm going through my first flip myself, right?
Oh, nice.
And I noticed that there's certain things that you have to do. You can't just put the cabinets, then the tile flooring. It looks like crap.
Right.
You got to do the tile flooring first, then you got to do the cabinets. So there's like certain things that have to go in at a certain time, right?
There's an order of operations that makes flipping a lot easier or a lot harder if you don't understand that. Then there's also a level of knowing what's going to be done and how well it should be done.
Yeah.
And if you don't go and do that or actually put hands on it, it's hard to ever know what to look for when you hire someone to do that.
Yeah.
So that was really beneficial for us to at least go in, install some fixtures, put in light switches, hang fans.
Yeah, but it wasn't that simple as just going in and...
We did that stuff.
We didn't want to spend like the $350 to install a fan.
Really?
So we're like, okay, we'll go to Home Depot, we'll pick up a fan, and we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Switches and plugs. Something that, I think it was $800 to switch and plug the house. Jesse and I were like, we'll go do it ourselves.
Yeah.
First and last time we ever went and did stuff like that.
But I'm glad we did, because now I always look at those things. I'm always looking at how things are installed because I've been there and I've done that. It's not the smartest thing to do. Definitely don't go do that on your flip. Pay the money to get it done. But it is important, if you are going to be in this business and grow it as a business and then hire people and delegate, that you understand how to do those positions yourself.
So when do you actually make that transition to start hiring people? Because now you guys got your first deal. You made some money at this point, right? Obviously, you did some things on your own, but now it's like, now you got to get contractors in, right? So how do you transition from that? Because now that cuts into your profits.
Yeah, so, the general contractor is one of the biggest, pieces to the puzzle when flipping real estate. And you got to find one that you really know, like, and trust. And that's something that we've learned the hard way many times. I mean, we've been taken advantage of by more than one contractor. We've had contractors walk off the jobs after we've overpaid them because we thought, we felt the pressure of having to pay them, and then they left the job and we would have to double pay to have someone else fix it. We went through that.
Expensive lessons.
Which was a $100,000 lesson.
So you guys did lose a couple of times then. Is that correct?
Those are some sensitive times. Those are the only times that we've ever lost, to be honest. Not to toot our own horn, but out of 275 properties, we've maybe lost on those 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Those 4.
Very little loss on evaluating properties and doing them correctly. Loss isn't more on gaining the knowledge along the way. So, with one contractor, we hired him. He was actually a referral from someone that we knew, family friend. He did 3 houses for us, did a really good job on 3 homes.
Yeah.
Kind of lured us in almost. And then we gave him a couple more homes, started not showing up. Where you at? Oh, we'll be there next week, or wasn't there next week. Then it comes to the holidays, doesn't answer his phone for 2 weeks, and then goes radio silent.
So the differentiator here is when we started, we decided to work with the contractor we hired to save some money and try to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
That's okay if you're going to do 1 house a year. It's fine.
Yeah.
If you want to turn it into a business, you need to get in the mindset of hiring a general contractor and letting him do the work as soon as possible. Now, that'll bring you up to a 5, 6 level, maybe a 10 level if you have a really good guy.
Yeah.
At that point, you're going to need to look into 2 contractors because now you have enough volume to keep them both busy.
Yeah.
And you are good at finding deals, obviously, so you want to keep capitalizing on those deals. Now you're going to find yourself escalating to a 5, 10, 15 level. Yeah. And now you're going crazy because you're ordering, you're driving around, you're managing, you're calling them. Why isn't it done? You're just trying to manage everything. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you need to step back and say, okay, I have construction in place. I need a manager for construction. Yeah. And that point, that realization came way too late for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you just did a little bit, made a little bit more money, picked up more properties, and you guys started scaling your business at this point.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we made it, like we just discussed, it's important to learn every facet of the business before you hire out. So you know who to hire out, when to hire out, and how to educate those people once you do hire them. Jesse and I found probably the first 30 to 40 deals that we bought.
At least.
Ourselves. Comped them, analyzed them. Once we closed on them, we went and designed each one of them with the contractor, managed the construction, picked up materials, appliances, fixtures, faucets, everything else, dropped them off, did all that. Listed and sold them, and then did all the transaction and escrow coordination in between.
Yeah.
So we did that all ourselves. And then our first hire was a transaction coordinator because our job is to find properties, renovate properties, and sell properties. All the back-end paperwork, way too inundating for us to run an efficient business.
Yeah.
So our first hire within our business that gave us the ability to scale a little bit more was the transaction coordinator.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about contractors because there's so many contractors out there, right? Once you find a good contractor, how do you keep him happy as far as pay-wise, but you don't want to overpay him just due to the fact that it's cutting into your profits, but also you want to keep that same contractor happy? Like, where's that in between?
So there's a lot of things you can do to keep a contractor relationship happy.
Yeah.
The first thing to do is if you're going to ask them to stay on budget and on time, you need to do that too.
Yeah.
If they say, hey, we're going to start the job on the 10th, I would like a first deposit, let's say some funds to get started on the 10th. Mm-hmm. Pay that check on the 10th.
Yeah.
So do the things that you're asking him to do as well. So that's going to establish the relationship and mutual respect that you have to have for them. You really don't want to feel like you're coming down on them, like they're subordinate to you.
Yeah.
You want to I try to treat everybody like a partner, even though he's a hired vendor, essentially, for us. The second thing would be to constantly be there as much as you can, or if you have an assistant or a partner or whatever it is, but have a presence at the jobs so they know that this is very important to you and you take this very seriously, and they can't, for lack of better words, get away with something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the more present you are and the more respect that you show them, the more you're going to get those exact traits in return.
Okay. And when you guys are looking for a contractor, is there a certain type of licensing that you're looking for, or bonding or insurance? What are the things you look for?
Yeah, so we learned that lesson, you know, a while back, that, you know, as a business, at least here in Nevada, if you're purchasing homes for resale purposes as a business, it's illegal to not use a licensed, bonded, and insured general contractor.
Okay.
So we always look for those 3 items: licensed, bonded, and insured. One great way of finding those people with the correct information is right off the Nevada State Contractors Board website.
So is that something that you guys are always going to look at just to see if they are in good standings as well?
Right. You can check the Better Business Bureau.
Okay.
Just to check it and see if there's any outstanding disputes or complaints against them. That's a good place to start. But if you're trying to find them, finding them on the state's list of people who hold that license, that's actually how we found our best guy to date.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We had our assistant literally pull the list and just start calling from A to Z.
And how do you know if you're paying fair market value for a contractor? Because I noticed today contractors are very expensive.
It keeps going up too.
Yes, because I think it was like, I'm going to say maybe like 5 years ago for me, maybe even 6 years ago, I bought a property downtown for like 18 grand. But this was actually, it wasn't a flip. It was a home that was abandoned, and I wasn't going to flip it. It was actually one of my first rehab properties, and it was such a nightmare, right? I'm talking about the sewage was gone, the plumbing, electrical. I redid everything, and the plumber contacted me once, and he said, "Hey, it looks like we got to redo the sewage line." So we literally had to cut the holes in the floor, and I was out in Arizona watching the game, and like I was scared at the same time going through the whole process. But we literally gut this home. But by the time I was done with it, I think I paid about $90,000 total. But it was a learning lesson for me, and I paid a little bit more. But I literally got to build this home from ground up. But by the time I was done, I was sad but nervous at the same time, and I was constantly stressed every single day because I subbed out the work myself. But once it was done, I was like, wow, I want to get another one. But this property still rented today, and it's my first baby, so I don't think I'm gonna let it go. Nice. But it's worth about like $320 now, so I feel like I did something right, you know.
With that purchase price, I'm surprised. Surprised it has a roof on it.
Trust me, we had to do a lot. We literally gutted this thing. We opened it up. There were some things that I literally overpaid for, and I went out there. I did some of the work myself, as far as like learn how to like frame in the window. I did this one bathroom window. It was crooked. Contractor was like, "Hey Chuck, you know what? This ain't for you." I was like, you know what, this ain't for me, but at least I tried it. Yeah. I kind of felt out the process. But right now I'm going through my first flip because I'm going to actually sell this one. It's a condo that I purchased, and maybe we can do a video. Maybe we can walk around it, and you guys can critique it and let me know what I should have done, or maybe where I should have saved some money on the flip. Because flipping property, you're in the business to make money, obviously, and you can over rehab a property, correct?
Easily.
And basically that's what I did on this one. I got so emotionally involved, and I realized I probably could have saved an extra like $2,000-3,000 more. So how do you guys know what to add into the property to maximize the potential of the returns?
So I want to answer your first question just real quick, and then we'll go into what's the maximize. To know if you're overpaying or not is super hard. Not only do prices change over time, like what we're experiencing right now with lumber and labor, but also in geography of where you are. If you are renovating a downtown condo in San Francisco, it's going to cost 3 to 5 to 10 times more than a condo here in Las Vegas. So the only way to know that is to find other investors, find groups, find Facebook groups, meetups, talk to investors in your area who are doing what you're doing, and see what they're paying. It's really hard to get a finger on the pulse of the price from us when I can't tell you about Texas. I can't tell you about Florida. It's all different.
One technique that we use, and you have to have a property to test this out with, is we'll call 3 or 4 different contractors and have them bid one property the same way with all 4 contractors to really test where the market's going. And we're actually having to do that more now than we've ever had to do it, because we have an influx of properties now. and one guy can't deal with them all.
Yeah.
So we're learning quickly that, most people are up towards like the $28 to $30 a foot range when we're buying properties based off of $24 or $25 a foot. So we're under budgeting ourselves on the initial calculations for the buy as to what the market's actually bringing now as of the last 60 days.
So it seems like you constantly got to stay on that, right? So that way you can analyze your deal up front, because that's where the deal is really made, is really up front when you buy.
Yeah, totally.
So
Absolutely.
if you're paying about $30 a square foot, now does that also include materials as well?
Yes, that's an all-in material labor bid.
Yep.
Okay, maybe I'm doing this wrong.
Yeah. and that's one nice part about using a licensed, bonded, and insured contractor is typically they are willing to pick up all the materials, have it all dropped off. So it's actually a lot less legwork on your end to have to piece a bunch of, piece a bunch of items together or materials together or even subcontractors together to get a job done.
Yeah.
We pay one guy, and that one guy gets all the materials that we request for that property. They're on his own.
Okay, so when you say we request, so do you go out and say, hey, look, I'm looking at this condo. It's 1,000 square foot. This is my budget. What can you do? Or you're going in and say, I want tile, baseboards, paint,
Right.
two-tone paint.
It's
I want
all
this.
planned before we meet that guy.
Okay, I want these type of shakers.
Right.
Yep.
And it's you can be open with him and say, hey, I do have this budget. I want to hit 30 grand, whatever it is. And let's walk through. I want to tell you what I want to do to this property and get feedback from him too. By going through and saying, well, I want to put Venetian marble in every shower in this place. He's going to start to say 30 grand. Like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he might offer solutions like granite or quartz, and you kind of give a little back and forth. But we go in there with an idea of the flooring, base, paint, cabinets, colors, counters, everything we want to use in that property. And we even deliver that in a package all in one place with links of where to find it, prices of everything.
Oh, so you guys are already making him go to a certain place to go pick it up then.
If he can find it somewhere else, great. But we have a source for you right here if you want to buy it.
Oh, okay. So
They're
you guys have it
ordering
down to a
fixtures
science.
off Amazon and Wayfair. They're going to Home Depot to pick up stuff.
Yeah.
They're ordering stuff from Floor and Decor. You know, they are doing all the orders, all the purchasing of materials.
Now, what I've noticed is that I tried that and I realized I missed a lot of things. Like I went in with a contractor and I met like 3 contractors. And the first contractor I talked to, I said, I wanted the floorings, I want the baseboards, I want the paint, the cabinets. But realize there's so many other things that are attached to the property that are so small, like doorbells, thermostats.
Towel bar holders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I realized, damn it, I got a bid, but I forgot all this other stuff.
Yeah, you should have called us.
Exactly.
But that's something that we go through now that we've done a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have been more like retail sales and stuff. You haven't done a lot of flipping. But once you get into flipping, I guarantee you'll never miss that again.
Yes,
true. You have to make some mistakes in order to progress.
We'll send you an example of one of our packages that we put together.
Oh, I can get one for free?
Yeah.
For free.
Oh, for free? Not free 99? Oh, you guys are the man. I love you guys already.
But I think it'd be cool to talk about, since you're doing this now, I'd love to go tour yours.
Yeah, that'd be great. We could throw that on your guys' channel, right?
Sure.
So if they want to see the final product, boom, we'll put it on your channel.
I love that.
And we're about to be finished here in a couple more days, so that's pretty exciting.
Oh, that's a perfect time then. But the good question, and I think a lot of people want to know this, is how do I maximize my property?
Yeah.
When I go in and it's dated and I obviously know I need to rehab this, what do I focus on?
Yeah.
Because it can be very overwhelming. You know, we do full rehabs.
Yeah.
We really try not to buy anything where we're going to be saving certain items.
Yeah.
It's very few and far between that we decide to keep something original into our final product.
Which I think is important for people to know watching us and that do watch any of our stuff is we're not lipstick on a pig.
Not at all, guys. I mean, take a look at this. I mean,
you can tell just from a few pictures.
I mean, you guys just take it to the next level. You know what? I can tell you, your guys' inspiration is probably through like some sort of magazine. It's got to be, right?
It's all right here.
Is it really? No way.
We look at a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
We watch a lot of real estate shows. We understand what's new, upcoming, what's trending, and we try to put some of that into our houses. But as you can see overall, this is probably 5 different homes.
Yeah.
All of it's fairly warm, fairly neutral, fairly like a blank slate, nice and upgraded, renovated, but someone can come in and say, oh, I could see my stuff in there. I can see myself in there because nothing's too loud and too
Right.
overbearing with our style. We
no
wanna,
crazy colors or no, ultra modern. It's a nice mix between all the themes.
So it almost looks like when you guys get into the $1 million listings, and I want to just step back for a second. When did you guys actually transition to this? Because with real estate, just because you rehab homes and you flip homes, there's actually different sectors in that little marketplace. And what I mean by that is you could have a niche where you're flipping homes from, $200,000 to, $400,000. Then you can be in a niche where you're into like $1 million to $4 million. Like, how did you go from there to there? Like, what made you realize, like, hey, you know what? Maybe the profits are more here. The market is no longer here, but I want to go here because it's more competitive. Like, how did you guys go through that process?
I think you are exactly right there. I mean, I think the market pushed us that way because we were in 2016 through 2018, we were flipping rough homes, in the tough areas of town and lower price points, $200,000 to $300,000 purchases and finished ARVs on these properties or after repair value homes. And we did that for a long time.
It's what was taught to us, and it's what was comfortable. Now, we could have gotten into luxury, higher price point much earlier. Yeah. It was at first accidental and then intentional. Oh, wow. So we came across a property. Most of ours were 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, I'd say tops. Yeah. Then we came across a property in Summerlin in the Willows area. Yeah. And we did a flip, and the sales price was like $650, something like that. And it was gated, and it was really nice. It was HOA. And we had no problems with squatters, break-ins, anything. Yeah. And that kind of made us realize this is nicer, like more convenient and easier for us, like as a job to go do. It's more pleasurable to go into a Summerlin and flip a house.
And the design factor of it. I mean, when we were designing the small homes, in the rough areas, you could put almost anything in those homes and they'd sell within a day very quickly because they're so much nicer than what those people could buy in the surrounding area. But being able to design the luxury home is what I think really sparked our interest. Like, man, that was awesome.
And you can probably have more creativity versus doing the white shaker cabinets and just pretty much everything's everything's all the same, right?
But we started with that house, and then we kind of got into the 5, 6, 7s, and we did that. Pretty much that was our cap for, let's say, another 12 months during all of 2018. We decided to do our first $1 million property. But 2019, looking back, we said, let's look at this here and let's try to analyze our own business. All of the homes that we flipped under 500,000 are returning X, where everything we're doing above 500,000 is so much more, 20%, 30%, 40% more on every property. Yeah. Let's actually target those and let's steer our business intentionally going towards the luxury side. So at first it was kind of accidental. We weren't confident to do it, and then we saw ourselves achieve it and decided let's run full speed ahead in that direction.
So is that where your main focus is right now?
Yeah, so our main focus right now, a lot of our inventory is definitely 500,000 plus right now. We probably have five homes over $1 million purchase price.
Oh, wow.
Resale value anywhere between 1.3 and 2.25.
Oh, you guys are the real deal. Look at this.
But now we've gotten into it. We make more. It's more fun, and it's more enjoyable. So now why wouldn't we? We obviously can do it. People like our products. And truth be told, the translation of going from the lower price point design to the higher price point, there's just more freedom. Like you said, more budget, more customization, and it ends up being more fun.
And it's way less competitive too. There are less competitors in the $1 million purchase space than there are in the 300,000 purchase space. And that's something that really kind of pushed us away as well is, we bought a lot of homes off wholesalers back in 2017, 2018, in those rough areas. And it wasn't the feeding frenzy that it turned into in 2019, 2020. Yeah. It turned into, these investors were bidding these wholesalers up. These wholesalers were bidding everyone up to crazy numbers where it's like, I don't know how people are even making money on these deals.
You know what's crazy? There was a property over there in Roma Hills, right? And I went to go look at it. And the property, it was outdated and needed some work. And I looked at it with a client, but I noticed it had been sitting on the market for some time, and it got scooped up. And I think you guys bought it, came in and rehabbed it. and I seen it, right?
I know that
And
property.
I know. And I was like, dude, this is a banging property. I was like, so I called the agent. I was like, yo, I got to film this thing. This thing is hot. He's like, it's sold. I was like, dang, it was like less than 24 hours.
794 Boeckle.
Dude, that's the one,
Let's see
dude. That was hot. Let me see if I could find that.
That's
Did you guys get that on YouTube or no?
We did get it on YouTube, yeah. So it's on our channel. We did a couple videos on that.
Yeah.
But
Oh, did you?
a little bit about that deal is we thought we were going to sell that house for 1.3, maybe 1.35 max.
Yeah.
And just where the market went, yeah, right there, 400K.
Is it right
profit.
here?
Yeah.
Let me just
So 400K profits, what it says.
What's up, YouTube?
let me just turn this down. Okay, what were you saying?
Yeah, so just based off the profit. So we thought we were going to sell this thing at like 1.3, 1.35, make 100 grand on it, standard luxury deal, 125,000.
Yeah.
We ended up selling it for 1.65
Damn.
first day on market cash.
Dude, you guys crushed it.
It's good.
That was a big
Made
one.
400K on it.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to partner up, and we're going to see if we can make this thing happen
Let's make it work.
with all this kind of money. Now, I want to get into something that's very important. I think a lot of people are scared about this, and I am too. When it comes to borrowing money and how to find money, that was like one of my problems, and a problem that I'm having right now, to be honest with you. I'm scared to go out and try to raise funds. I'm in a position now where, you know, I'm in a great position. I have a lot of money, but I have to find a property. But obviously it's going to come to a point where I can only buy so much properties. Eventually I'm going to have to raise funds. Now, how did you guys get into raising funds? Because I feel like it's very hard, right? Is it a mindset?
It's a mindset. It's
is it
totally
really?
unknown because you have what they want.
Yeah.
You know how to find a deal,
Yeah.
what's a good deal and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And to just go back to what you said before is you want to use your capital until you don't have any capital and then you need to go find money. You should find money to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should never use your capital.
Yeah.
There's no reason to.
Okay.
But there's different kinds of money.
Okay.
First of all, you can go find private money from your network, family, friends, or there's, institutional private money, or there's hard money.
Mm-hmm.
The really cool thing about hard money, we actually did a video for our channel on this,
Yep.
is that when they lend you money, they want you to win.
Yes.
So you have them on your side. They're not going to let you borrow the money on a loser deal.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you're out there on your own and that you have to just know everything about it from the get-go.
Okay.
You submit a deal to them, they'll tell you why it doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're your
they'll comp it
partners.
out themselves. They'll appraise it themselves, and if it doesn't appraise or comp to what they think, if your values don't coincide,
Yeah.
they'll tell you no.
Okay, so how do you find a great hard money guy? Like,
So-
what are the numbers today? What was it that you're looking for? How many points?
Okay.
What are points? What are rates that you should be paying, right?
Sure. So you can expect a few costs. It's really only a handful of costs when
Okay.
you borrow hard money.
Yeah.
You're going to get basically a loan to value. What amount of the purchase and or rehab, if you choose to borrow that the lender is willing to lend you up to, and that's a percentage of that total amount.
Give the audience
You'll
an
find
idea.
a lot of lenders, institutional large lenders that will advertise. They'll go up to 90% loan
Okay.
to value. So if your property is 900 plus 100K rehab, they'll lend you 900.
Okay.
So the total's $1 million. They'll lend you 90% of that.
Oh, wow.
That's what a lot of them advertise. They don't end up landing at 90% all the time, but you'll find that number advertised a lot.
Okay.
You'll also find points, which are just percentage points, and that's normally you can find 1 to 2 points. I'd
Okay.
say in today's climate.
For the loan, is that correct? So
For the
if
loan.
it's
To
if $1
originate
million,
to originate
so
the
it's
loan.
$20,000 to originate the loan. So that's how they get
Right.
money up front.
Right.
Okay.
And we're paying to our hard money lender 1 point. So
Okay.
it's only 1%, which is even better.
But obviously, you guys are doing so many deals.
That's why I'm saying it might differ. You might see 2 points. You shouldn't pay 3.
Okay.
Even if you're new, you can find someone that's going to take 2.
So, how long are your average flips? And here's another side to it, right? When it comes to hard money, you guys are also calculating that factor too as well, because then you have so much carrying costs that are involved, right?
Right.
So now we're taking it to a whole nother level. So the average guy that's getting started, this is beyond their scope. So how do we figure all that out? How do we help somebody out that's just getting started for something like that?
So to buy a house, you have to have some sort of knowledge of how long you intend to hold that house.
Yeah.
You have to have a good idea because you have an interest cost from either your private or hard money lender that you're going to be paying on it.
Yeah.
You have utility costs, insurance costs, so many fixed costs being determined by that holding time. Ours right now is anywhere between 4 and 5 months.
Yeah.
We were doing 90-day hits, back earlier this year, but days on market's gone up a little bit in the last 60 days. So right now for us to buy a home, we're calculating 5-month holding costs.
Okay.
If we get it done in, rehab, put it on the market, get it sold quick and close it in 4, great. We save $2,000 or $3,000. It's a little bonus on the deal. Everyone's happy. But if you start going over that holding cost threshold and you don't put enough time on your deal, it could really start hurting you.
Oh,
and it
really?
hurts quick.
So basically, you're bleeding yourself pretty quickly.
Right.
Now, I want to ask you this. What is the difference between hard money and private money?
Sure. So really more, I'd say traditionally private money, what people think of that is more a family or friend.
Okay.
It's more someone who is not a business.
Yeah.
Now it can be. Now today you could Google private money and find nationwide private money lenders. But traditionally, I think private money is something that happens to be private. It's somebody that doesn't necessarily do this as a full-time business.
Yeah.
It's just somebody with funds that is giving you, and maybe you only, those funds to invest with.
Okay. So now, let's just say I want to get into the investment game. I'm a doctor. I'm an attorney. I don't have time to go out there, start flipping properties. I wanted to come to somebody like you guys and say, look, I got some money. I need some help. I want to, make some extra money. Is that something that you guys offer?
That's a great solution because you have the money.
Yeah. And we are taking money at all times.
I'm taking money
Of
too.
course. So we just picked up a new private money lender, actually, and her terms, she's got a big bankroll. She owned a bunch of businesses, older woman, loved us, loved our business model, which is why, if we talk a little bit more about private money, it's more trust and relationship focused than hard money. So she trusted us. She trusts our track record, gave us a couple $1 million to invest with. And those terms are 90%. So we have to come out of pocket 10% still. Yeah. And we pay rehab.
Okay.
And then she charges us interest.
And then she charges us a 10% interest, which is high. But we have to prove ourselves. We just did our first 2 deals with her. Neither have closed yet. One's in escrow to close. One is listed on the market for 5 days now. So we'll hopefully get that sold. When we prove ourselves to her, we'll pay her the big dollars up front that she's asking for. But we're going to go back to her and try to go with a deal that's more of an equity split deal. Yeah. That costs us $0 out of pocket. So our goal is never to use our own money.
Which is great. I love that. So now, do you guys also raise funds now at this point? Are you guys raising funds to do deals, or you guys are just doing pretty much private hard money at this time?
I would say we're not raising funds in some sort of group to go out and organize and buy properties under. We're more raising funds just so we have an additional capital to flip with. Just another source. Because what we're finding is even with a national hard money lender that we utilize, they have a cap. Yeah. And we find a private money lender, they're going to have a comfort level or a cap. And we're exceeding those caps with all the people we have. So we're just finding ourselves in need of finding another one. So that's where we're at.
Now, I also noticed something very fascinating with you guys. You guys just took down, a 43-unit, the Alpine apartment building. I'm sorry, the motel or something like that?
Motel.
Dude, that's crazy. Motel. Let's talk about that acquisition. How'd you guys get that?
That was actually brought to us through a commercial group here in town that our acquisitions team's very friendly with. Yeah. And they are commercial agents buying and selling commercial income properties. And they approached us and said, hey, we have another one going. We just discovered you guys, your investment business, what you do. We really think it would be cool to have you be a part of this. Yeah. And a lot of us are out of town. So you guys being in town, locals, natives, you could kind of
experience with the business of real estate and construction and rehab and all that.
You could help us be maybe a bit of boots on the ground. Yeah. They allowed us to join their group, buy this motel. Oh, wow. And so we're going to follow the process throughout. And this is a long time now. This is probably a 2-year project.
Okay, so you guys are partnered up with somebody
Yes.
on this
Yeah,
deal.
we're
Yes.
partners.
I was
up.
like, damn, let me get a piece of that. Let me get a piece of that.
Excellent.
Honestly, well, the deal, just learning about the initial purchasing of the deal and these people bringing it to us. I've told Jesse a couple times now, like, dude, we got to go find our own that doesn't have 10 other partners in it, because it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult of a transaction to walk through.
Yeah. So what's the end game for you guys?
To be honest, we're slowly graduating from small properties to larger luxury properties.
Okay.
Smaller income to larger income. Now we just took stabs at multifamily properties, going from luxury single families to bigger multifamilies.
That's where I want to be.
I want to keep going that direction.
Yeah.
End up owning those. So get out of flipping, where flipping's great way to make quick money, but essentially you're always out of business every time you flip a home.
That's a good point.
But we say get out of flipping, but I think it's more get out of the everyday grind of flipping.
Yeah.
We've built our business that's been, it's been automated pretty well as of the last 9 months. We've worked really hard on automating our business. So as long as it runs on an autonomous scale where we don't have to grind and be worried about what's going on an everyday basis, it's damn good cash flow for, years to come.
With all this knowledge that you guys have you guys considered creating some sort of real estate course?
That's a great idea. And
Wow.
yes, we have. How did you know?
Chuck.
Wow.
We are working on a entry level to experience level
Yeah.
flipping 101 course and academy. That's
Okay.
all online.
Okay.
Taught directly by us.
Cool.
With direct access to us. We're working on that right now. So if you do go out, follow our YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, the Boeckle Brothers,
Okay.
you'll be the first to know when that comes out, when that's available.
Cool. Any final thoughts, guys, before we end this show?
Jump in anytime.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
listening.
Dan, you got anything? How's the market?
You guys don't have the maybe a card license plate that says Flipper, do you?
Mine is TBG1.
What
The
is it?
Boeckle Group 1.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Mine's a bunch of numbers and letters. I don't know how to.
You're just like, whatever.
You're like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care.
Well, guys, I really do appreciate you guys coming on today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a link in the description below for your show there. Or not your show, but for all your social media accounts and stuff like that. So, guys, I want you guys to support these guys. These are like the coolest dudes ever, man. They didn't have to give out the information to us. But you know what? They took the time to come down to the studio to share us everything about real estate flipping. Now, I am very excited about this 43-unit apartment building. It's 43 units, right, guys? 42? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on this, and hopefully we could do some sort of tour. Other than that, until next time, don't forget to tune in to the LV Home Experts radio show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel.